What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Game Week 38 deadline stream. The final game week of the FPL season is here. The season's about to get over. It's just 1 week left, 1 game week left. All the fixtures are together. It's just about an hour, maybe slightly less than an hour to go for the deadline. There have been a lot of leaks that have come out in terms of the information, in terms of which players are playing, which players are probably not starting, etc. Of course, there's already a lot of information that's already out. We'll kind of recap in terms of what we already know, whether players like Haaland, players like Mitoma, players like Shaw, of course, all of these are rumored to be not starting for this particular game week. So we'll discuss all of those details. We'll also keep an eye in terms of whatever more news, more leaks, more lineup information we can get for the next probably 45 minutes, 50 minutes, or something like that. I've personally not made any changes as yet. There are rumors that, or there are leaks that, Haaland and Grealish are not starting. Alvarez is starting as of now in terms of the information, and I'll quickly kind of summarize in terms of whosoever is starting and not starting, etc. Please feel free to add any questions, ask anything that you want to know in terms of your own team, in terms of your transfers, in terms of if you want specific information for any particular players, for any particular team. I'll be happy to help you. I'll be happy to kind of post that information on the stream. And yeah, we'll just quickly start the stream. Not much time left, so we'll not waste a lot of time here. Hey Don, hello to you. Welcome to the stream. So what do I make? I have one free transfer. You have 0.6 million in the bank. You have David De Gea, Raya, Estupinian, Shaw. I mean, in terms of the defense, you can play Estupinian, Trippier, and Botman, even Trent. I mean, you can play, if you want to play safe, play Estupinian, Trippier, and Trent. I mean, the trio is absolutely fine. Then Rashford, Odegaard, Mitoma, Salah, Mahrez. I think it's rumored that Mahrez is probably not starting, but we'll see. We'll kind of dissect that information as well. Alvarez is starting, that's absolutely fine, and then Haaland is not starting. So you're thinking of Mitoma to Eze, I think that's absolutely fine. If you're going Mitoma to Eze, I think that transfer is absolutely okay. You can do that. There's a high chance that Mitoma probably doesn't start. And I mean, in terms of the rumors that I've been listening so far or hearing so far, it's basically McAllister who's starting and Mitoma who's not starting. Again, we have to take all this information in terms of with a pinch of salt, because something might come off, something might be true, maybe something doesn't come off or doesn't true. In terms of, let's say, just quickly summarize in terms of what the information is at the moment. So it's KDB, Diaz, Grealish, Akanji. They've not traveled, so of course they won't be in the lineup, they won't be in the squad. Then we don't have Alisson and Van Dijk from Liverpool. Again, there's no information right now in terms of whether Salah is starting, whether Salah is in the 11, whether he's in the squad. The assumption is that probably he's going to play. He's one of the main or most important attackers for the Liverpool team. So the assumption here is that he's probably starting. So no Alisson, no Van Dijk for Liverpool. In terms of the Arsenal news, we have news that Saka and Trossard are in the squad. Of course, there's not going to be Martinelli. There was slight doubt in terms of Trossard having a flag and having an asterisk on him in terms of an injury, etc. But he's definitely traveled with the team. Now, that doesn't really kind of help us in terms of dissecting that information, that whether he's starting or not. So in case if you are, let's say, maybe having a Grealish, for example, maybe you want to get rid of a Mitoma, for example, I think the valuable suggestion here would be to kind of move towards an Odegaard, who's probably the most safer option. In case you feel that you want to go for a slightly higher goal threat, etc., maybe then Saka kind of comes into the picture. He's not been that great over the past few weeks. So if you trust Odegaard, if you don't have a lot of budget, etc., I think Odegaard is the option to go for. Trossard is a risky pick because he may not start this game. I mean, Nelson can get a start from the Arsenal team, and then Trossard maybe comes from the bench, because yes, Trossard would definitely want some minutes, but kind of depends on his injury, kind of depends on his knock. He's definitely in the squad, but there's no confirmation that he's starting. Then Rashford is starting. In terms of the Man United news, we do not have any information in terms of whether Fernandes is starting. I mean, again, the assumption or the expectation here is that Fernandes will get a start in this particular game week. Rashford is starting. That's pretty much confirmed. I think we should be fairly safe there. In terms of the other players, we have information that Shaw has not or is not a part of the 11. So whether he's traveled with the squad or not, we do not know. But right now he is basically not in the playing 11. That's the information, that's the leak that we've got so far. Martial's also out. I'm, again, probably not very relevant from an FPL point of view, because of the fact that maybe not a lot of people are, having Martial in their team, or maybe looking to go towards a Martial. The biggest news, I think, probably that we are looking at the moment is, Haaland is benched. So that's the information that we have right now. Haaland is benched. So FPL Raptor has, come out and has tweeted about it. His leaks or the information, whichever source, I'm not sure what source he has or where he gets it from, but It's been reliable, though he's mentioned that lazy FPL, he's quoted lazy FPL as the source in terms of the information for Haaland, who's also a Twitter account. It's basically an FPL newsletter, Twitter account. So maybe we can depend on that. Let's see. If more people are kind of confirming this information, I think it'll pretty much be set in terms of, Haaland is probably getting benched. And I think there's a high chance of that happening. So that's what we'll take. In fact, let's talk FPL. Andy has also tweeted that Haaland is not starting. So maybe this information looks a little bit more legitimate, a little bit more reliable, considering that there are two big accounts that are mentioning that Haaland has not started or will not be starting. Uh, Rest, let's see. I mean, once we have more information, I'll kind of come back to this and revisit this. Once we probably have a Liverpool, maybe a Liverpool leak, maybe some sort of leak for Newcastle, etc. as well. I think we can revisit the information. We have about 45 minutes, roughly about 45 minutes to go. So we'll take it from there. But feel free to ask any questions in terms of now that you know certain information with Grealish not starting, with probably Haaland not starting, with somebody like a Mitoma also at the risk of probably getting benched. Do let me know if you have any questions around that, and I'll be happy to kind of answer those questions. Welcome to the final deadline stream of the season. Yeah, it's been a long one. It's been a great season as well for me. I hope it's been great for you as well. It was quite fun while it lasted. Final transfer of the day is Akanji to Ben White and Haaland to Kane. Looks like a very solid set of moves. I think a lot of people maybe are not looking at defender transfers, and I can totally understand why that's happening. But I think if you're looking at a defender transfer to go for, I think Ben White is a great pick. A lot of people are talking about Tarkowski, Yerry Mina from Everton, but again, yeah, I understand that even Arsenal hasn't been that great in terms of keeping clean sheets. But still, Arsenal, they probably would want to have a good last game. I think it's a home fixture as well for Arsenal, and it's against Wolves. Wolves are not traditionally known for scoring a lot of goals. So I think Ben White is a really good pick, especially if you're looking for a defender option. Let's say if you have like a Luke Shaw in your team and you have to play Luke Shaw, of course he's not starting. So then in that case, you can absolutely go for Ben White. I think it's a good move. Haaland to Kane, I think it's going to be a very popular transfer. So a lot of people may be thinking of going the differential route by getting in a Kane. For example, Kane's I think effective ownership at least around my rank was maybe about 20-30%, which is not very high. But considering the fact that now that we have news about Haaland getting benched, I think a lot of people are going to make this transfer. I think the real advantage that you can get from this move is maybe not just the transfer. I mean, if you do Haaland to Kane, it may not be that great. But in case if you're planning to captain Harry Kane, I think that's where you'll actually draw the biggest advantage. You'll get the biggest differential gain from a Harry Kane in your team. And I think in isolation, the move is absolutely fine as well. There's been a huge flood in Great Britain that all stadiums are waterlogged in matches has been postponed with immediate effect. I mean, yeah. Imagine if that would have happened. That would have been absolutely crazy. Hey, Brian, hello to you. Thank you for all the content all season. Thanks again for sticking with me, sticking with the channel, sticking with us. I hope it's been helpful. It's been fun. I think, as I said earlier, it's been a long season, and of course, we've tried to push out a lot of content. We've started a lot of new stuff. Of course, we'll be trying to build over, a lot of what we've already created. And I think exciting times ahead, exciting game week. I mean, before even, I think the season finishes, I think it's going to be more chaos in the next half an hour or maybe 45 minutes, and we'll see where we can go from there. Mitoma bench is what I've also heard, and I think it should be fine. I mean, it should be correct. So right now, in terms of the information that we have from my own team, I have Mitoma, Grealish, and Haaland who are getting benched. I mean, I'll probably make two moves. I think Grealish and Haaland are probably options. Is the fact that City, I mean, they can absolutely hammer Brentford. Brentford away, it's probably going to be a tricky fixture. It's not going to be a very easy game. But I think we can probably take a chance with maybe letting go of Haaland. I think, as I said earlier, I think Haaland to Harry Kane is probably one of the most popular, or it's probably going to be the most popular transfer by deadline. I think in terms of Grealish, I have two outlets, I have two routes. I'm probably not thinking of a very differential route in terms of going with the Ramsey, for example, maybe going with the McNeil. I know a lot of people are looking at these options, but I'm not still very sure because it could be KG games for even Aston Villa as well, because yes, they are still trying to push towards the Conference League, and I think that could be KG. Even let's say somebody like an Everton, for example, if they're leading 1-0 and if McNeil is not involved, I don't think so. They're probably going to push for second or the third or even the fourth goal, etc., etc. So I think it's going to be very tight. They're probably going to shut up shop, and it's great from a clean sheet perspective, but we do not know for sure whether Everton do lead in the game and then they are able to keep that clean sheet. So it's not it's of course a narrative. It's of course a conclusion or maybe some sort of an assumption that we're making. But I'll probably look at something like an Odegaard, for example, maybe an Eze as well. Eze also, in terms of popularity, he's already been, I think, the most important or the most brought in player this week. Almost 500,000 transfers. So his effective ownership is also going to be not that low. So in terms of absolute gains, I mean, somebody like an Odegaard already had a lot of ownership, and then again, he's probably the top three. He's right now in the top three most owned players or most brought in players this week. So it's probably going to be between these two. If I'm looking at more goal threat, I think Eze is still the better option. Crystal Palace have nothing to play for. Their opponents have nothing to play for. So it might be one of those 5-3, 4-3, 5-5, 4-4, 3-3 sort of a game. And I think Eze, especially the fact that he may be on penalties, considering that Zaha is also not featuring in this game, I think Eze could be a decent shot. So we'll probably look at Eze. Right now, that's where I am. So Grealish to Eze is what I'm thinking. Haaland to Kane is what I'm thinking. There's a small percentage in me who's thinking maybe go for somebody like Firmino, considering that I have a Liverpool spot open. I mean, Firmino may start. It's a final game of the season, final game for him for Liverpool. So I think there's a possibility that he starts. But I think maybe it's a transfer that I mean, a lot of Maverick managers may make it. I'm not really playing in any mini leagues in terms of doing some catch up or anything like that. My idea would be to at least push towards 20-25k, which I think I'll be about 15-20 points behind. So I would need a differential captain. We are mostly going to go not Haaland. So I think it's anyways going to be differential. It's probably going to be one of Salah or Kane, provided that we do the Kane transfer. What are your thoughts on your transfers? As I mentioned already, it's Grealish to most likely Eze. It's probably going to be Haaland to Kane, and then we captain either Salah or Kane. It's still on Salah at the moment. If we get information about Salah maybe getting benched, it's probably going to be on Kane in that scenario. Which defender can I consider for Stones? I have Trent, Trippier, Shaw. I think Ben White from Arsenal could be great. Arsenal, I mean, home game, Wolves do not score a lot of goals. Final game of the season, they might want to keep it tight. The clean sheet is still a bit of a worry for us, for the Arsenal team, but he's definitely one of the better options of the better. I mean, Arsenal is generally one of the better teams to probably get a clean sheet this week. I mean, expecting a clean sheet from Everton is again wishful thinking. Generally, we do not get a lot of clean sheets. I think last season, in Game Week 38, there were only 2 clean sheet fixtures. So I mean, there were only clean sheets in 2 games. So most of the fixtures were high scoring or decent scoring. I mean, average number of goals scored last season in all of the games combined was probably the highest in a very long time, or maybe the highest of all time as well. So maybe go towards Ben White. I think that's probably where I will kind of look at. Otherwise, maybe a Mina or a Tarkowski. It's still not ideal because I won't look at Man City options. I'm not looking at Chelsea, Newcastle, not expecting a clean sheet there. Even Crystal Palace, Forest, I don't think so. There's a clean sheet there as well. If you're maybe looking at a clean sheet, not a clean sheet, but Leicester definitely have to win. Something like a Castagna, for example, could be a decent option. Don't consider the clean sheet potential for Leicester, but I think in isolation, he's been an attacking option. He will be playing, quite forward up the pitch. So I think I know he's not been a great pick overall, but it's just 1 week. I think all the data, all the statistics kind of goes out the window right now. Considering that there's game state involved, considering that there are a lot of players are not starting, certain teams are on the beach, they're not really having anything to play for, etc. So I think going for Castagna also could be a decent pick. Thank you for all the help this season. Thank you again, Arjun, for sticking around, for being with us. I hope I've been able to help you and you've been able to enjoy FPL in general. I think it's been a grind. It's been a tough season. It's been a very, very long season. Let's hope that next year, I mean, maybe we get less double game weeks, because I think double game weeks in general is kind of suck out the fun of FPL as the game, because then most of us are trying to get in those double game week options, especially when premium teams, etc., are having those double game weeks. I don't think so. There's a lot of variety. So in general, I think there have been very similar teams, very template teams for most of the season. I mean, I was looking at my statistics and my rank. I think since game week 28 or 29, my rank has been around 30k. And right now, if you see on the screen, it's 39k. So it's been very, very stagnant. It's been very constant. I've kind of yo-yoed a little bit, not by much, but I think a lot of people are in my position as well. So let's hope that, the game kind of improves next season. fingers crossed for the final game week. Absolutely. I mean, I really, really hope that you guys, if you're leading, in case if you're chasing, I mean, you're able to come out on top. Whether to go for, in terms of whether you actually go for a differential option, whether you go for a differential captain. I think I just really, really hope that you guys are able to win your mini leagues. Haaland and sack to Kane and Alvarez for a hit. I think I'll take a hit. I mean, a lot of people would say that hit is not fine. I mean, you shouldn't take a hit. Final game week, not able to recover, etc. I think a lot of people may be taking hits, considering that they have 2 or 3 or maybe 4 players who are not starting in their 11. I don't think so. A lot of people are going to take a hit for Haaland to Kane because I think it's a straightforward transfer. But I think doing Kane, kind of protecting the ownership, and I think going for somebody like an Alvarez, who is probably a very good differential this week. I still think he's going to be a differential. I don't think so. He's still very, very highly owned. Let's just quickly check his number of transfers bought in for this week. I don't think so. It's actually a lot. I think it's probably going to be around 100. Yeah, it's 170. It's still decent, still in the, I think, the top 5, top 6, but I think he's still a decent differential to go for. So decent move, even for rate, I'll do it. Mitoma, Haaland, Grealish benched. That's what we know. I have David De Gea, Kepa, Stones, Short, Trent, Trippier, Botman, Mahrez, Salah, McAllister, Mitoma, Rashford, Wilson, King, Greenwood, McAllister, Mitoma for Eze. I think I will take a chance with Mitoma. I mean, that's what the rumors have been, that Mitoma is probably benched and McAllister is getting a start. I'll take out Mitoma and then I'll get in Eze. Ben White in for Shaw, Stones. I mean, I think both of them are probably not going to start. So you just take your pick. If money is an issue, see who's the more expensive option and take him out. I think Shaw is probably the higher priced option. I'm not very, very sure, but I think, it's not really a decision here. You can just take out one of the options. And if you have to play a 3, you can basically go for Trent, Ben White, and Trippier. I think that back 3 is absolutely fine. Wilson for Alvarez. I'm assuming Wilson out and Alvarez in. I think I'll do it. I think it's an absolutely fine move. There is a potential risk with Wilson maybe starting and scoring, and I think his ownership is also going to be quite decent. So you are taking a risk, but in case if you're chasing, in case if that's the objective, if you are far off in your mini league behind, and if you want to do some catch up, I think Alvarez, basically taking out Wilson, getting an Alvarez is absolutely fine. Absolutely go for it. Thanks for the season. Thank you again for tuning in, for joining us. Good continuity since last season. Let's hope that that continues for the coming season as well. I won free transfer and I'm chasing with 10 points behind. Do I go Haaland to Kane or Mitoma to Eze, and who do I captain? I think I'll do Haaland to Kane, considering that you're chasing. I think if you can, if you could take a hit, I think I'll see. If you want to go absolutely very safe, you go Haaland to Kane and you captain. 10 points is a decent gap. You can absolutely do that by basically getting in Kane and captaining him. I think that should be absolutely fine. If you want to take a little bit of a risk, and if somebody maybe in your mini league sector, that option of that rival is probably going to maybe do a Mitoma to Eze as well, you can cover that off with a hit. But I think in isolation, if you just want to do one transfer, I think Haaland to Kane looks fine, and captain Kane, because I don't think so you're probably going to captain Eze. I don't think so a lot of people will. He may get a double-digit haul. He may absolutely go massive this week, but I think we can be slightly more certain, slightly more confident with the Harry Kane. So I think you do Haaland to Kane, you captain him, and I think you should be absolutely fine there. Is Ferguson benched? We've not got any Brighton news. We'll quickly check again, but I don't think so we've got any. So most reliable sources, as what I'm reading on Twitter, says that or say that Enciso starts. So if maybe Enciso is starting in that forward role, maybe Ferguson is getting benched. That's what it is. But we've not had any confirmed news about Ferguson getting benched, or maybe a leak around the Brighton lineup. We just know that Mitoma is getting benched again. That's also not. I don't think so. It's confirmed, to be very, very honest. But yeah, that's the only thing that we know from the Brighton lineup. Should I sell Haaland to fund a move for Salah? You can, if that's the only option of or the way of getting Salah. You can get Salah, you can captain him. I think he's also a great captaincy option. I think the likes of Salah and Kane both are really, really good options. I think both options are actually quite good. There's not a lot to choose from. Both do have away fixtures. Leeds could be a bit cagey for Heats, but I think that they absolutely have to go for it. They have to win the game. They have to attack, and I think that could spell really good for Harry Kane. Harry Kane has a great record in Game Week 38, and that's has been there for quite some time. And I think I have a feeling that he probably gets a brace. So I think if you want to get Salah, you get Salah. You take out Haaland. I mean, taking out Haaland is absolutely fine, especially if you're not, playing very, very defensive. In a scenario where you're playing very defensive, of course, you may not captain Haaland now because Haaland is getting benched. But maybe because you're trying to protect a very small, slender lead, you probably would keep Haaland. But I think selling Haaland is absolutely fine. There are a lot of options you can gain advantage from. There are a lot of options or players you can, gain ranks from. So I think selling Haaland is okay. Edison Trent, Estepinian, Trippier, McAllister, Fernandes, Salah, Mitoma, Rashford, Alvarez, Kane doing a -8. Mitoma to Eze, Solanke to Alvarez, Haaland to Kane looks pretty solid. A -8, I agree. May sound a bit cagey, may sound a bit itchy, but I think considering their high potential moves, I think they're absolutely fine. You go for it. Kane or Salah for captain. As I said, it's very, very close. I still feel I'll probably go Kane. I mean, both options are really good. It's Salah's against Southampton, relegated already. I mean, and they've had a bad season, bad defense. It's an away fixture for Liverpool, so that could be a bit different. I mean, Southampton playing at home, playing one last game in the Premier League for now, and I think they could absolutely go for it. But I think if I had to pick one, it's just going to be Kane by a little bit, and that's where I am kind of thinking as well by captaining Kane. Let's see. Kane or Salah captain chasing 24 points in the mini league. I think if you're chasing, both options are good for chasing, but I think I'll go Kane as the captain. Rumors are Haaland not starting. Rumors are that Haaland is not starting. I think it's pretty much confirmed because it's been tweeted by a lot of big accounts, big FPL accounts, Twitter accounts, and I think so that's what. Yeah, so that's what it is. Haaland is not starting. We've got a leaked lineup for. I mean, I'm again not sure how authentic this is, but I'll just quickly read out the Aston Villa versus Brighton fixture. So we have Undav who starts, Buonanotte who starts, Weltman starts, McAllister starts. So basically, Welbeck, Gross, Pascal Gross, Estupinian, and Caicedo. I mean, these are all players who start. The players that are benched are Dunk, Enciso, Mitoma, Ferguson. So Ferguson is benched, Mitoma is benched, Enciso is also benched, and Dunk is benched to play the centre back. So this is what we have. League lineups. I mean, still not very, very sure if it's confirmed. We'll also see a couple of more accounts. Yeah, Mitoma bench is what we are hearing, and I think that's been tweeted now by a multiple set of accounts. So I think that's what it is. What are my plans? My plans are basically Grealish to Eze is what I'm thinking. The other option is Haaland to Kane, and I'm probably thinking of captaining Kane. That's what I'm thinking. Taking a -4. I mean, Mitoma is also an option who's probably not going to start, but I think Mitoma is probably going to come from the bench. I have Botman also who can probably come from the bench if Mitoma doesn't feature at all. I'm just not feeling a -8. Still may do Mitoma to Odegaard, Grealish to Eze, and then Haaland to Kane. I mean, I think I'm pretty much set on Haaland to Kane. Very, very close between Kane and Salah's captaincy. I think I'm probably going to just go towards Kane. That's what I have in mind for the moment. Might change. We still have about half an hour to go. Might change before the deadline. Pick 3: Mings, Castagna, Estupinian, Lindelof. I'll definitely pick Estupinian. I'll pick Castagna, and I'll also pick. I mean, Lindelof, not much upside. I think I can actually. The third pick is actually a bit difficult. I think I'll definitely pick Castagna and Estupinian, and I may just pick. Mings, because I think United Fulham, it's probably going to be a decent scoring game. I think both teams are going to score goals. We're not going to keep a clean sheet in that one, so I'll probably pick up Mings. Maybe if Aston Villa, gets into a lead, they try to protect that lead, considering the fact that they have to win this game to, at least give themselves a shot to move towards the Conference League. So I think I'll pick Mings, Castagna, and Estupinian. Would start McAllister or bench? I think I'll start McAllister. I definitely won't bench him. Grealish is not starting, confirmed. That's what we know. What am I doing with Grealish? I think Grealish is definitely going out, and the transfer is probably going to be Eze. Where's your Brighton leak from? It's an account called Leaked Lineups on Twitter. That's where I have kind of read this. A lot of people are saying it's not a trusted account, may or may not be a trusted account. Consider the fact that it's the final game week of the season. We're getting a lot of leaks. We kind of have to, take this with a pinch of salt. But yeah, a Twitter account called Leaked Lineups is what, or is an account which is saying that the Brighton lineup that I mentioned and the players that are not starting that I mentioned. But I think we've got enough information around Haaland. We've got enough information on Grealish. More team news as we know. So Mitoma is benched. Mahrez, Alvarez, and Foden start. No Shaw. McAllister starts. Rodrigo starts for Leeds. So in case if you want to go for a punt from the Leeds team, I think Rodrigo is a good option. Inacho, Madison, Barnes starts. So if you fancy a Leicester option, maybe you're thinking of Madison. I mean, I still feel somebody like Odegaard or somebody maybe even like an Eze are better options. But in case if you want to go for a Leicester option, Inacho, Madison, or Barnes are also starting. If Mitoma is not starting, would you take a -4 hit to bring anyone in? If yes, who? 6.1 million. I mean, Eze is I think below 6.1 or 5.7. So I think if I'm taking a hit uh, for Mitoma, basically, taking Mitoma out, taking a hit, I think Eze is a good option. I think you can easily recover the hit this week. Haaland to Kane, Mitoma to an Arsenal mid or a City mid or Eze. I mean, if you have the budget, why not go for something like a Mahrez or a Foden? I think that's also an option. I think it's a good option as well. I think there probably could be limited minutes for most of the Man City attackers, considering the fact that they have two cup finals coming up. Considering they, also have United coming up. I think they could be limited minutes, but I think as we know that Foden and Mahrez are starting. In case if you want to go for a high upside punt, I think Foden has been looking pretty good. I mean, a lot of people when Mahrez not turned out great, he always looks like that he's probably going to be among the attacking returns, especially from assist point of view. But I think in the last few games, it's not been that great. So probably go Foden. I think the highest upside pick is definitely a Foden. I don't think so. Odegaard would be that high upside. And considering that Odegaard, always gets on these runs for a couple of fixtures and then maybe blanks. This is probably a week where he blanks. We don't know that. But I think if I'm taking a chance, I'll probably do a Mitoma to maybe in City mid. I think if you have a City spot open, I think going with somebody like a Foden is absolutely fine. Haaland to Kane, Mitoma, I've already answered that. Having a dilemma with the mids, have 8.5 million, Eze, Madison, Saka, Odegaard, or can you recommend? I mean, if I'm not sure how much is Foden, let me just check that. 8 million, I think I'll take a chance with Foden. In case if you're looking for an Arsenal option, I'll probably look at Odegaard in terms of safety. But again, if you're playing very very safe, then maybe you look at somebody like an Odegaard. In case if you're slightly chasing, but maybe the difference etc. is probably about 8 to 10 points, maybe even lesser. I think Eze is then an option. If you're massively chasing, let's say if you are maybe about 20 points behind the rank that you need, or against the mini league rival who's ahead of you, for example, I think in that scenario you if you have a Man City spot open, you go for somebody like a Foden. If not, then I think I'll go with Eze. I think that's a really good option to go for. My team like yours, I have Rashford instead of Salah. Would you do Kane for Haaland, Grealish, and for any mid at 10.6? And would you take a -4 for Firmino for Isak and start him ahead of McAllister or Mitoma? I think again depends on your situation in your mini leagues, on your situation in terms of your rank, in terms of your desired rank. In case if that's something that you are kind of chasing, if you're massively chasing, maybe 20, 25, as I said, 20, 25 points behind in terms of your mini league, certain mini league rival, then you go with something like a Firmino. Otherwise, I think I'll do Haaland to Kane. And then I can, depending on the risk that you want to take, safest is Grealish to Odegaard. In case if you're slightly chasing, but the difference between your rank or the desired rank or your mini league rival is not a lot, then you do somebody like an Eze. Otherwise, if you have a Man City spot open, considering that you're taking out Grealish, I think Foden is also, it's a risky option, but I think it's a great option to go for. Is Haaland starting? We know that Haaland is benched or not starting this week for Gaming 38. Multiple accounts have tweeted it. A lot of people have confirmed it. City Extra account on Twitter has also tweeted the same. Of course, quoting maybe one of the FPL Twitter accounts, but I think Haaland is definitely not starting. Can't get in Salah even after selling Haaland for Alvarez. 0.5 short. Should I go for Foden instead? I mean, yeah, as I said, Foden is it's a risky option for sure, but I think it's a high upside pick. Already have Mahrez. I mean, it still could be a decent option in case if you wanna, you know, basically go a little bit less risky. Then you look at options like an Eze or an Odegaard. I think those are the options. Do you think McNeil from Everton is a good punt? It could be a decent punt, but consider the fact that Everton are fighting for their lives, and let's say if, as I said earlier in the stream as well, right? If Everton go by, they start or they kind of score a goal, they now are leading in the game. I don't think so. They'll try to probably push out for the second, third, or fourth goal. Let's right, for example, and if McNeil has not been involved in that goal in some capacity, either assist or a goal scored himself. I don't think so. It's going to be a massive return for McNeil unless of course Everton really hammer in the game and they end up scoring 3 or 4 goals. So it's a cagey game. I think the better punch to look at. In general, Everton's attack has not been that great, and Everton has been playing in that wing back sort of a, sorry, not Everton. I mean McNeil has been playing in that sort of a wing back role where of course the attacking output is not as high. So I think a lot of people are also talking about Doucouré as a punt because he's probably going to play in a much more central position for the Everton team. I still feel punts like see, at the end of the day, all of them are punts. Something like an Eze is probably a better option to go for, and you can definitely look at him. In case if you're massively chasing, you can go for the likes of Madison or Rodrigo. I think they are also good punts to go for. It kind of depends on your league state, on your game state, on your rank, etc. In terms of where you are and how much deficit do you face or do you have, or how ahead are you, and whether you want to play defensive or not. Madison, Eze, Saka, Odegaard, Rodrigo. Pick one. If I had to pick one, I think in terms of the overall balance, I'll pick Eze. I think good fixture, nothing to play for. Could be a massive high-scoring game. Has good goal threat. Could also be on penalties. So I think Eze is probably the one to go for. Mitoma to Eze or Bruno to Alvarez. Again, both options are good. If this is a mini league rival sort of a question, depends on your mini league rival whether he has an Alvarez, whether he has an easy move to go towards an Eze. I think Mitoma and to Eze is probably the easier pick, but I think I mean if I'm looking at one option, I think Alvarez is definitely playing for a much better team, much more attacking team, and I think even Brentford away I think could be a good fixture for Man City. Could be a high scoring game. Haaland to Kane and Grealish to Salah. For my score, I think I'll absolutely do it. And captain one of Kane or Salah. I mean both options are really good. Haaland, Bruno, Greenwood out. Kane, Odegaard, Alvarez in. Already have Rashford in my team. -8 could absolutely be worth it. I still expect Haaland to come on, play some minutes. I think Bruno is probably going to get a start. Kane, Odegaard, Alvarez. I think it's a good, strong combination. I think it's differential. Yes, it's for a hit, for in fact a couple of hits, but I think it should be fine. I think we generally take hits and consider hits and see whether they are worth it over a select few weeks. In this scenario, it's of course not possible because it's the final game week of the season and it's just 1 week of returns that we can measure it with. But I think even a -8, I think a lot of people would be in a position where they probably do a Haaland to Kane transfer and then they are probably taking it maybe a -4, -8 as well. Considering the fact that they have to take out a Mitoma, they have to take out maybe a Grealish as well. I think those could be absolutely fine. Even for a -8, I think they should be okay. Guys, about 20-25 minutes to go. Don't keep your transfers till the very late or till the very end. I mean, there's always a chance that the FPL servers crash and they absolutely are not able to help you in terms of making transfers. So don't keep it till very late. In terms of any questions that you have, we'll also quickly check if we have more information around the leaks. Yeah, I mean, not seeing anything else at the moment in terms of whatever we already know. That the likes of Haaland, Grealish, they're benched. Mitoma is benched. Rashford is starting. We don't have any information on Salah, so maybe Salah is absolutely fine and he starts. And I think Haaland to Kane is also going to be a very, very popular transfer. We quickly check again in terms of any information. A lot of people are saying Mitoma on the bench, Buonanotte. I mean, I hope I've got that name right. I think that's what it is. But yeah, still waiting for any confirmed information. I mean, I think Haaland is pretty much confirmed. Grealish is pretty much confirmed. Leicester is pretty much confirmed. If anybody is kind of interested in Leicester, the City lineup, as we know, is Edison in goal. Edison starting. So if you have Edison in goal, I think that's great for Edison owners. Haaland benched, you said. I mean, yeah, Haaland is benched. That's what we've heard. That's what we've seen across multiple Twitter accounts, multiple Man City Twitter forums, Twitter accounts, multiple FPL Twitter accounts are all saying that Haaland is benched. So Haaland is benched. So the lineup for Man City is Edison, Walker, Nathan Ake, Laporte, Gomez, and Lewis. Phillips is basically starting in the midfield. There's Palmer, Foden, Mahrez, and Alvarez. So Foden and Mahrez both starting. There's Palmer as well, who's starting, and Alvarez starts in goal. That could be very, very interesting in case if you're looking at a differential forward as well, and you know you probably want to save some cash. If maybe you don't, or you already have Kane, for example, maybe you want to save some money, maybe upgrade towards a Salah, etc. I think something like a Watkins. I don't think so. A lot of people are talking about Oli Watkins, but I think Watkins could also be a decent option. Yes, he's been a bit quiet over the last few weeks, but I think there's a lot of potential in Watkins. They also have to absolutely go for it in terms of if they want to make sure that they retain their spot or they get towards that Conference League position. And I think Watkins is also a great shout. Start Isak or Wilson. I think right now in terms of leaks, in terms of information, we don't have any for Newcastle. So I'll probably be assuming that both will start. But yeah, I mean, if you had an option of one, I think I'll start Wilson. See, the highly likely chance of starting them both together is okay because the fact that now Newcastle have nothing to play for. And I think if Wilson's fit, I think he'll definitely start the game. If Wilson and Isak are both playing together, it's Wilson who's probably going to be on penalties. I mean, that's what we've seen so far. It's Wilson who plays in a much more central, the number 9 position, and Isak shifts on the left, which is not great for him for his goal scoring potential. Yes, he could still be okay from a creative sense, but I think the potential with Wilson is still a lot higher. So I think I'll take a chance. I'll start Wilson, and if he starts, I think good possibility that he gets a return. Any news on Mahrez? The news that we have right now is that Mahrez is starting along with Foden. I think both of them start. So if you have Mahrez, you keep him. May still not be a necessary buy because if you're looking at a Man City option, I think Alvarez is probably the easier option to go for. Considering a lot of people can do Isak to Alvarez, Wilson to Alvarez, maybe a lot of people have Greenwood and they have the budget to go towards an Alvarez as well. So I think Alvarez is still probably the better option. But in case if you're massively chasing, I think Foden is also a great pick. Nervy Wayne's back for one last time this year. But yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna do the Kane move already. I'm probably not gonna wait till the very end. Just in case if the servers crash, just in case if something happens. Right now, captaincy is on Salah. I think I'll do the Haaland to Kane move. So we'll have Kane and Alvarez in a 3-5-2. Now we have Grealish and Mitoma. Of course, we won't be having any more free transfers. So we'll probably start taking hits now. Let's see. I think Grealish to Eze is what I'm thinking. And if I'm doing another move, it's probably going to be Mitoma to Odegaard. I think that's kind of covers everything. And after that, we can just pray and hope for the best and see if we can, get those gains that we are thinking that we'll get. Haaland to Kane before the side crashes. That's what I've already done it. Just did it. So it's basically Haaland out, Kane in. Kane right now is vice captain. I'm tempted to go towards a Kane captaincy. It's actually very, very close. Not made up my mind in terms of which one's the better option. Right now, Salah is captain, Kane is vice captain. Mitoma to Eze or Ferguson to Enciso. I think whatever we've heard so far, Mitoma is the one who's getting benched. Eze is probably the better option anyway. So I'll do Mitoma to Eze. Eze for Mitoma for -4 worth it. I think hits are absolutely fine. A lot of people may not think about hits in the right way this week because of the fact that hits have a condition in terms of yes, you should not take hits. We should not take a lot of hits because they probably don't pay off and work out at the end. But I think it's 1 week. Most of the people or the players that we've mentioned, they're not starting. And if that's the case, I think that hit should be able to kind of, recover itself. Captain Eze, if you're massively chasing, I think players like an Alvarez, Eze, something like a Foden, I think those could be great if you're, lagging behind, mini leagues. If you're massively chasing, let's say by 20, 25 points, 30 points, maybe more, I think something like an Eze could be okay. It's a risk, may not pay off, but I think it could be worth it. Is Rashford starting? As far as we know, or we've heard or we've read, Rashford is starting. Shaw is benched from the United team, and Martial is benched. Is the information that we know. There's nothing around Fernandez, so maybe there is certainty about him getting a start. Brighton news. Again, I'm still not very sure if we can say that as confirmed information, because no legit accounts, I would say, have said that players like Mitoma, players like Enciso, etc., they are getting benched. But as far as I'm reading on Twitter, it's basically Mitoma getting benched, and Enciso and Ferguson also getting benched. So that's what I know, and basically McAllister getting a start. So the United lineup, as I can read it on Twitter. It's United Plug, which is a Twitter account of United which covers updates, transfers, lineups, match coverage, etc. The lineup they've mentioned is David De Gea, Dalot, Maguire, Lindelof, Malacia, Casemiro, Fred in the middle, Sancho, Bruno, Garnacho, and then Rashford. Most likely Rashford is going to play as the number 9, and Sancho and Garnacho play on the wings. Bruno plays in the central role. Which everyone I bring plays. If Enciso comes in, plays over Mitoma. I didn't understand the question. If you can just frame it a little better. I think right now we have information that Mitoma is not starting. I'm still a bit skeptical about Enciso and Ferguson, both of them not starting together. It's not a confirmed news because none of the big accounts, etc., have mentioned. Did the Kane move? Next move. Also, how many hits are we planning? Did the Kane move as well? I think Grealish is definitely not starting, so we'll definitely do the Grealish move first. We'll get in Eze. Let's just hope that Eze does well. Odegaard could have been an option, maybe Saka, and I think Arsenal could do well this week, but I'll take a chance with Eze. Let's see. Maybe a massive score, maybe a blank, but I think I'll take my chance with an Eze. So it's basically Grealish out, Eze in. That's already done as well. So we've done 2 moves. We've done Haaland to Kane for a free transfer. Now we've done Grealish to Eze for a -4. I'm still waiting for the Mitoma news. If we do not get any confirmed news, I think I'll probably just keep Mitoma in there and just ride my luck here. If Mitoma doesn't feature at all, I still don't think so. He doesn't feature at all in the game. I still think if he doesn't start, he comes on. But let's say if he doesn't start at all, we have Botman against Chelsea. Not the most ideal defender or the option this week, but I think that should do the work. Raya or Kepa, I think both options are tricky because of the fact they have. You can always argue that Newcastle has a tougher fixture or Chelsea has a tougher fixture. Right now, it looks like Chelsea has a tougher fixture, but I think both teams can absolutely score. I'll still back Man City to score against Raya, but because of the fact that Man City may take a lot of shots, etc., Raya can end up saving maybe a penalty, dodgy penalty. Maybe he does, makes a lot of saves and gets us a lot of save points. So I think Raya in terms of save potential may be higher, but I think maybe Chelsea Newcastle, 0-0 sort of a game could also happen that way. And I think probably Kepa if I'm looking at the clean sheet potential, I'm not expecting both to keep a clean sheet. So in case if you feel that Raya is probably going to make more saves because it's Man City at the end of the day, I think you go Raya. Otherwise, Kepa. I think I'm going to go and stick with Kepa. As for McAllister, I think McAllister looks like he's going to start, but in case if you want to take him out, I think you can, and Eze, you can go for Eze. Kane for Haaland for a -4, I think you can do it. In case if you're chasing and massively chasing, you can even captain Kane, and I think that will basically double up your advantage. Haaland, Mitoma to Kane and Eze, or Firmino and Bruno. I'll do Kane and Eze. I think that looks like a better combination. Mitoma bench is what, again, that's what I've been reading as well. Let me just quickly refresh Twitter and let's see any Brighton news. Mitoma's benched again. It's still not by any confirmed account, so that's the worry there. Yeah, about 13 minutes to go. The lineup was leaked. Do let me know the source of your leaked lineup. I mean, if leaked lineup is the page that you're talking about, I also read that. But again, I'm taking with a pinch of salt. I'm not sure. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure there. Who are your must buys for this game week? Already have Alvarez, Mahrez, and Salah. I think in terms of must buys, Kane is probably also in the list. If you can manage Kane, I think Alvarez. I don't think so. Mahrez is a must buy, to be very honest. I think Alvarez is a good option, not a must buy for sure. I think Kane is definitely a must buy. Looks like a great pick. Salah, I think Kane Salah would be up there. And other than those, I think all of the other options are actually punts. McAllister is probably a hold, not a must buy, must sell, etc. I think Fernandez also is not a must buy. So I think it's just going to be Salah and Kane, and if you can get both and get rid of Haaland, I think the core is probably set, and then you can work around in terms of your risk appetite, how much risk you want to take, whether you want to go for something like a Foden, whether you want to trust the Leicester team, the Leicester attack, etc. I think you can absolutely go for those options. But yeah, in terms of the must-buy options, I think Salah and Kane would be my picks. Let's see if Mitoma is also benched. I mean, we can absolutely go for a Foden as well. I mean, Alvarez Foden could be a very punty lineup together. Let's see. Also, what do you make? What makes you captain Salah so strongly over the likes of Alvarez, Kane? I mean, I'm still thinking, not sure about Salah for sure. It's Southampton. That's one of the reasons. Reason two, Liverpool also might want to end the season very strongly. The motivation might be a little less, considering the fact that they're playing in the Europa League. I mean, a team like Liverpool over the past few seasons, the strength that they've had, of course, it's a big blow. Financially, it's going to be a big blow as well. Morally, they might be down and out. Southampton actually might put up a very strong fight, and actually it could be a good game from a Southampton attacking point of view. Of course, we're not going to go there, but considering, I mean, Southampton's still going to go absolutely gung ho, right? And I think that should leave a lot of spaces behind for the Liverpool attacker. Salah is the best Liverpool attacker. Now we can, of course, debate whether originally I think Salah should be on pens, but whether he stays on pens, considering the fact that Firmino is playing his last game, maybe Salah gives the penalties to Firmino in case if Liverpool do get one, and then that kind of reduces the appeal of Salah. So I'm probably going to shift it to Kane. Yeah, I mean, could go either way. I think against Leeds, I still have a feeling that Kane is going to do well, so we'll probably just captain Kane. Let's see. I mean, it's okay to take a bit of a risk. And I think I'm very, very close to doing a -8, taking on Mitoma and getting in a Foden. But yeah, that's where I think I'll take a chance. I'll not go very, very safe with the Odegaard. Yes, there could be some rank loss, but if Foden does get a goal, etc., I think it could be a great set of moves. Did Mitoma to Eze, Isak to Alvarez for -4? Benching Haaland is a lot of money on the bench, but I think it's absolutely fine. Moves are also okay. A hit is also fine. Not a problem. My bench is Shaw, Anthony, March, and I'm forced to start Tierney. Should I do a -4? I mean, who for, right? I don't see any of the upside options. I mean, you can take out Anthony March, of course. If you have to take out one of Anthony March, maybe do that and see how much money you have and then take a -4. I won't take a hit to start a defender. I mean, it's fine. But in case if you have to play a third defender, I mean, you can go for something like a Ben White. You can maybe go for somebody from the Everton team. Not expecting a lot of clean sheets, etc. Anyways, but I mean, those are the options in terms of defense. -8 Mitoma. I mean, if you're taking out Mitoma for a -8, you've already done a -4. I think it's fine. You have to take hits individually. I don't think so. You can just collate all the hits together and say -12 Mitoma. Is it fine or not? Of course, you have to take each hit individually into account. What player are you taking out? I think it's more about which player you're taking out this week, because of the fact that whether they're starting, whether they're rumored not to start, can they come from the bench, etc. I think those are some decisions that you have to take. But I think Mitoma to Eze for a -8. I mean, assuming a -4, I think it's absolutely fine. So Kane captain confirmed. I think so. I think we'll go with Kane. Let's just see. I mean, it's a lot of vibes in there, but I think let's just see what happens. Doing Kane captain, I think let's go for it. See, to be very honest, 39k right now, 50, 60. doesn't really matter unless Haaland is captained by a lot of players and he comes on from the bench. In case if he's benched and he comes from the bench, scores a hat trick, it's a different thing. But I think 39k, even if it drops down to 45, 50k, it's fine. These changes might help us move, at least maybe to 25, 30k. Not really expecting 10k. I think that's out of the window, out of the question. But yeah, why not? Let one week to go. Let's absolutely go for it. Hey Shriyash, hello to you. I have Mitoma, McAllister, and Isak. I have to bench one. I'll bench Mitoma. What we've heard, at least, I mean, not sure how accurate that is, but we've been hearing that Mitoma is getting benched. McAllister and Isak, I think, should be fine, should be okay, and you play them, you bench Mitoma. Any leaked Arsenal news? I don't think so. I don't think so. We've got any Arsenal news. I'll quickly check again, but I don't think so. We've got any Arsenal news. Yep, don't think so. We've got any Arsenal news. I want to take a punt on Garnacho and Captain Rashford. Absolutely go for it. Why not? I think it's an attacking punt. I think Fulham are a very average defense. I think they'll absolutely go for it. Mitrovic is coming back to United. There's a lot of history there already in the season, so why not take a chance, go for it. 1 week to go. What is there to lose? Nothing. Absolutely. I mean, back your gut. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, I think the season's already over. So that's absolutely fine. Great guys. About 5 minutes to go. I'll just quickly check again with regards to the Mitoma news. Not seeing anything so far. Eze and Olise starts, Kane starts, no Martial, Simica starts, no Robertson. Doesn't really help us in terms of the Mitoma. I mean, Mitoma news could be wrong as well because the fact that it's not been tweeted a lot. It's not been tweeted by a lot of big accounts or anything. So I think that could not be. I mean, could not be very very accurate. Yeah, not seeing it anywhere. Mitoma would be too much. I feel those many hits are considering we have already covered City with a little differential. Alvarez, I mean, yeah, I mean, Alvarez is not going to be a very big differential. I mean, his ownership is probably going to be about 40, 45, maybe 50, maybe 50. And considering people are captaining him, maybe reaches 50. But yeah, I think I'm having that itch of doing that move. I think we'll just quickly check again. So Kane captain, Salah vice captain, Haaland is out, and then Grealish to Eze is already done. We've taken a -4, is what we've done. I think we'll just keep. Yeah, we'll keep Mitoma. We'll keep him on our team. We'll keep him in our 11 as well. Not seeing anything on Mitoma, so I'm not. I'm a little bit skeptical about the Mitoma news. So we'll just keep him on the lineup. We'll keep him in the 11, not taking a hit for Foden. And yeah, I think that should be it. We'll just quickly refresh the page again, check it. So it's basically Haaland to Kane, Kane captain, and then Grealish to Eze, Kane captain, Salah vice captain. I think those are the moves. Also, no major pundits tweeting about Mitoma. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think so. It's probably going to be very, very accurate. Maybe, but it's just one account, so I'm not very sure. Mitoma, McAllister, Isak. I think I will. If I had to pick one, I think McAllister. I mean, if I had to bench, I'm not sure what's the question. If it's to bench one of these, I think it's probably going to be Mitoma still. I'll take a chance, considering that you already have McAllister and Isak. If it's to play one of them, I think I'll play Isak. Mahrez or Foden, I think if you're massively, I still feel Foden is the one to go for, irrespective of whether you're chasing or not. I think he's the better option. He's the more has higher goal threat. Looks a lot better than Mahrez over the last few weeks. One thing could be working in Mahrez's favor is that if Haaland is not on the pitch, I think Mahrez is the one who's going to be on penalties. I think that's the only advantage that Mahrez probably gives you, but I think I'll still take a chance with Foden. Should I transfer an Eze or Firmino for -4? I think, again, if you're massively chasing, depends. I think slightly safer option out of the two is Eze. If you're massively chasing, you go Firmino. Wish to Eze or Foden. Again, if you are chasing, if the idea is to chase by a lot of points, I think you go Foden. If maybe you're leading, for example, if you're leading, I think you go Eze. If you are chasing and if you're maybe, let's say, 5 to 10 points behind the mini league leader or whichever player you are chasing, I think you start Eze. If the difference is more than, let's say, 15 points, maybe 10 or 15 points, I think in that scenario you start Foden. Kepa starts. I mean, that should be okay for us. Couple of more minutes to go. Again, haven't really heard anything around uh, Mitoma as well, so I think we'll just keep him. Solanke or Isak for free, or Eze or Firmino for -4. I think I'll do Eze for a hit. Again, if you're slightly chasing, if you're massively chasing, you go Firmino. So Trippier, Estupinian, Trent as a back three, Eze, Mitoma, Salah, McAllister, Fernandez, Kane captain, Alvarez. I think we have Kane. I think Kane captain is definitely going to be a differential captaincy pick. Alvarez is a decent differential, and I think Eze also could be okay. Is not the biggest differential out there, but I think it should be okay. One moment to go, guys. Please quickly go to the website, go to the app, wherever you're logging on, into FPL from, and then just make your transfers, complete your moves. Don't keep it till the very end. I've saved my team. I've saved my captain. Please do that as well. It's probably gonna go down any moment because hardly a minute or maybe less than a minute to go for. Okay, that was actually quite chaotic. Lot of leaks. I mean, not sure if leaks is actually the right way to look at FPL play, FPL, etc. But I think, yeah, that's it. That's deadline, guys. Final deadline of the season. Game week 30 deadline is done. It's been chaotic as expected. I think we've had a few chaotic streams, we've had a few chaotic deadlines, and I think this had to be one. And it's always, I mean, it's fun for a few people. It may be irritating and on the edge for a lot. But I think it's been great catching up with you guys. I think it's been an absolute pleasure working on FPL and working, talking to you guys, helping you, trying to at least help you understand FPL in a better way, and of course, help you enjoy the game a lot better. And I hope you've had a good time. Thank you again for sticking with me for the entire season. We've had our highs, we've had our lows as well. But yeah, all the best again for Gaming 38. I hope you're able to beat your mini league rivals, beat whosoever you plan to beat in your mini leagues, etc., or gain whatever ranks, etc., you're planning with your moves, with whatever differential moves we or you have made with the leaked lineup information, etc., that we've got. But yeah, have a great time. Do watch all the matches. I mean, of course, every match is at the same time, but I think it's gonna be chaotic. Let's see who does get relegated, because it's still slightly close in terms of the relegation. Of course, rest of it is already kind of in the bag. But I think, yeah, looking forward to the next season. I think I need a break. I'm very sure you do too, and have a great break. Have a great summer as well. I think, of course, from our side, there's going to be some content that's probably going to come out. We generally do a transfer series. Let's see if we can replicate that into a blog as well. But yeah, do watch out for that. And I think the season starting around 15th August, if I'm not wrong. I think the fixtures will be announced next month, mid of next month. That's very, very soon. So we may do some small short content or some small content around that. But I think it's probably going to pick up, or the FPL content is probably going to pick up from maybe July, mid to July end, where the game is live. We have a lot more information, a lot more preseason stuff kind of kicks in, and then we'll be able to help you guys, start your FPL season, understand FPL in a better way. Of course, we'll start with the basics, etc., and then we'll help you build that game week 1 team as well. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I really, really hope that you've enjoyed this season as well. Do you think Solanke will score? I mean, there's a high chance that if Bournemouth has not been. I mean, yes, they've been on the beach for the last couple of weeks, but I mean, for Everton, this is a very, very important game, and I think a lot of eyes and ears would be around what's happening with Leeds, what's happening with Leicester as well. But yeah, Bournemouth could absolutely score. If Everton go up, I think they're gonna shut up shop and they're gonna keep it very tight. So maybe Bournemouth doesn't really get a lot of space. But I think yeah, there's a chance that Solanke can definitely score. Thank you, Varun, for joining in. Thank you for everything. See you next season. See you next season as well. I hope you're able to join us from the very start, and of course, I'll be there to help you as well. Uh, when you're back next season, you'll have a long hair like Haaland. Let's hope so. I mean, I'm not very sure. It's been 4 months, I think, since this has happened, or I've kind of taken that decision to grow my hair a lot longer, expecting it to go towards the extreme prime by probably about October, November. I think it'll still take some time, but let's see. I think it's gonna be very interesting. I personally want Everton to get relegated. I mean, yeah, Everton has been living on the ropes for the past couple of seasons now, and I mean, can't imagine players like Madison, Tielemans, Inacho, Harvey Barnes. I mean, they getting relegated. It's gonna be chaotic in terms of the summer transfer window as well. Of course, there are rumors, there are conversations, there's a lot of negative press around what's going to happen with United, whether we're going to get new owners or not. I think let's see what happens there, and it kind of will define what happens in the summer transfer window as well. But I think the chaos will follow, will happen, and I think it's going to be a great window for teams like Newcastle, for teams like West Ham. How high can they push? Of course, Luton Town is in the Premier League. I'm sure a lot of you wouldn't have heard about that club. I haven't really. Of course, I did hear about them, but don't know much. So I think there's going to be a lot of reading, a lot of research that'll probably go in there. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting season. Let's see what happens with the relegation. But I think Leeds, by my personal expectation or assumption here, would be that Everton just might get away with it, and Leeds and Leicester are the ones that get relegated. Of course, Southampton's already relegated. I think these three teams would be the ones to kind of go away from the Premier League. Great. With that, I think we'll call it a day, a season. I think it's been great chatting with you. I hope I've been able to help you guys. I hope I mean, you found this useful. If you've had any value out of it, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Do hit the like button as well. It really helps us get found in and get more reach and get more visibility. Of course, there'll be a lot of content coming up in the preseason, in FPL. There'll be transfer. If you're interested in what's happening in the summer transfer window, do check out our Instagram channel. Do check out our YouTube videos as well. And let's see if we can do blogs about those as well. But yeah, there'll be some content for you guys coming up so that it kind of tickles your football fancy. And I think it's gonna be great. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the break as well. And yeah, what a season! The World Cup break made the season the most. I mean, it was an intense season. If you were an involved FPL manager, I think, of course, like me, you also would have had your highs and lows. And yeah, I think it's been a long one. It's, of course, there've been a lot of interferences in terms of stuff happening around, in terms of double game weeks, etc. But let's see what happens in the new season, right? With that, of course, we come to the end of this stream. Thank you again for joining us. And I will hopefully see you very soon. Let's see when we can stream, if we can stream anytime soon. But in case you want to have a conversation, please do feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. You can reach out to me on Instagram as well. You can DM me there. We can start a chat, have a conversation, and I think it'll be awesome. It'll be great. Great. Thank you so much again. And you're welcome for all the content. I hope it's been great. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great week. Keep smiling and have lots and lots of fun during the break. Bye-bye.